This short DVD will show the origins of the partnership project between Rotherham United and Rotherham Youth Service. It will also show some of the activities and workshops that young people undertook on the first dedicated anti-racism educational programme to be delivered in Rotherham.
Being British is being stubborn and moaning about everything, even if it's good or bad, like having too much money. It's very British to whinge and to be generally upset about everything, to be miserable.
British to me is having a good time with your friends, socialising, Sunday dinners and just basically having a good time.
British to me is like all the people around me, because every day when I wake up and go outside, all the people I see is British, but I see the Pakistani people all around me as well, and Slovakian people, Russian people, Polish, all the different countries, and all the people that comes to Britain. And like every day when I go to park, I see the British people and Pakistani people, Slovakian people getting on very well, and that's what Britain means to me.
Being British to me is about diversity, multiculturalism, respecting individual identity and being miserable.
Being British to me means following and adapting to British culture, including food, clothes, activities, entertainment and other aspects.
British to me is Queen, because we're the only country that's got a Queen. Football, Sunday leagues, watching football like England. It's also different people from different communities coming together from from countries around the world, and yeah, making friends and yeah.
Being British to me is about sharing your views and having a voice without being scared about what other people are going to say.
It's really important that we recognise that racism does still exist today. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, see if you can write down on a piece of this flip chart any negative words that you still hear today, so that we can just start to identify the racist language that is still used within Rotherham today.
It is the correct term.
I really hear that. It says in the tune on my phone, but it's not being racist, it's saying that people call it him.
Just cross this one and put put another word to it, and then that's going to be it.
It's like calling someone a white person.
I.
E-I. Okay, they've used the word alongside it, bashing, packet bashing, those kind of things. It's very derogatory. And National Front used to use that kind of word outside our schools when we were at school. So it's quite painful, the word. It's not short, because it wasn't used as a short version of Pakistan. It was used as a racist word.
These are some racist words that our groups discussed of what people use today.
After exploring what is British, the group looked at some of the disturbing words and actions that are associated with racism.
Tells you a little bit about transatlantic slave trade and how it was known as the triangular trade, and there were huge profits made by people.
Central to the programme was understanding the roots of racism. An exploration of the slave trade enabled young people to grasp the myths that were created to divide the human race.
And it's saying how these slaves are worth a lot more money because they haven't been in contact with any diseases or smallpox.
In week 3, participants undertook their ancestral DNA tests. A swab was taken from each participant. It was then sent to a laboratory where the DNA was matched with other people's from around the world. The pioneering process traces DNA history back over 1,000 years, giving some surprising results.
Mine's everywhere.
Yeah,
Mine's
everywhere.
Europe, Asia, Africa.
Bangladesh.
Wow.
India and Afghanistan.
Algeria.
Algeria.
Yeah.
Algeria. And West Sahara.
Spain, Italy, and then linked to 2 people in Spain, 1 in Italy and another 1 in Spain.
Mine's Oman, Yemen and Ethiopia.
England and Wales, and then I've got an area in Germany.
Poland. I'm from Poland.
Send it round, let's have a look.
There's 1 yellow dot in Poland.
At the end of the project, we allowed young people to digest what they had learnt. This reinforced many of the teaching points, ensuring the work lived on in the changing attitudes and behaviours of all those that took part.
What do you think was your best session on the Rewind programme?
My best session was the time that I watched that DVD where that guy went through Liverpool and showed us all the history of slaves that are being transported from Africa to America and to England.
My best session was the one where we did the display, because we all helped each other, we all encouraged each other. We did really get to know each other really a bit more from helping each other out.
My best session was when we split up in 2 groups, and one of them was blue and one of them was green. And we had these 2 tests that when you enter the UK you have to fill in. So, but we had the test with the questions already on, and the other team had it without the questions. So it was easier for us than them.
The session where we were looking at slavery and sexual exploitation, it were in Thailand or Philippines, where there were 9-year-old girls asking, saying that they were virgins so that they could get more money for whoever it was that were exploiting them.
So throughout the whole of the course, what is the standout learning point that you'll take away?
A standout learning point for me were, although that I knew that racism existed, I didn't realise to what extent it were, and the fact that I learned how racism started.
Like the percentage of different cultures and stuff in Britain, because it's a lot less than I originally thought. There's a lot in Rotherham really, so I thought that there's a lot more all over UK.
Well, I've learned that the first black professional footballer played for Rotherham United, and I think it's important because we need to see more positive images of black people.
What will you do differently, having been on the Rewind programme?
I'll learn not to judge people really, and to try to challenge racism as it pops up instead of letting it slide by.
Would you recommend the course to others?
I'd recommend this course to other people because it's educational and we've all got a lot out of it, and I think it should be taught to everybody.
It gives you more, like, lots of information about racism, and I think it's a good point to pick out, and people should know about racism more.
The young people obviously really enjoyed opening up those cartons and finding out the results. I think it's a really good way of making people aware that we all come from different parts of the world, and it was interesting the reaction that young people had when they saw where they came from. Some young people might feel quite negative about some places, and some people were really shocked and surprised. From workers that I've spoken to who took part in the Rewind training, people are still coming up to me now saying it is the best training that they ever had. And I know from talking to the young people that they've really got a lot of learning out of it, but you've done it in a way that's been fun and enjoyable. I think that we need to continue to deliver it across Rotherham. I know that you're interested in taking it into schools, but also we've got lots of youth centres and youth work projects across the different sectors. So I think this is just the beginning, and we need to roll it out across Rotherham and keep working on anti-racism and anti-racist work so that we can develop the community cohesion that we're all striving for.